Alright guys, we got another garage sale finds rolling at you. Want to see what we got? Stick around. Alrighty, so we got a few things that we found. I don't want to say bore you, but I'm not usually interested in anything that my wife gets at a yard sale. But she wants part of one of these. Well, let's get into it. You'll find out. Alright, so the first thing was right here. And no, I don't think this is what's in there. So somebody changed a CPU and now the fan, and that's the leftover one, and this is apparently the one they bought to replace it with. Fan looks absolutely brand new. This fan has not been used, and it is probably the fan that came with that, and they probably had a custom fan and just kept using it. Probably what I'd have done, because if I bought a custom fan, it'd be exactly what I wanted. This is a Intel E97 379-001 12 volt 0.28 amp or 280 milliamp fan, and it's a little strange because it looks like they've with, you know, kind of, I don't know what you call it, but some kind of hard thermal paste, I guess. And probably once you know, mount it and all that good stuff, the heat would cause it to migrate across this whole surface and the surface of the CPU. I mean, I have to assume, I mean, I don't know if that's any possible deal or not, because I haven't bought, you know, new CPUs in like forever. I can't even tell you. I mean, look, I taught myself how to program in 7 different languages, from assembly all the way up to the higher level Borland, C++, Pascal. It's all kind of stuff, and build computers with my eyes closed without even thinking about it, with 104 fever in 5 seconds flat. I've dealt with computers. I've worked with computers. I can't tell you what CPU's in that. I hate computers. When you do computers every day, you learn how to hate computers. I hate computers. And I actually got my glasses over there that I'm not getting out because it's too much trouble to get them out at the moment. What we got here? Intel 86 Pentium D 945 SL9 QQ Costa Rica 3.4 gigahertz 4, looks like Meg 88805A 3731A947, and then a whole bunch more numbers there. So I don't know what the CPU is. Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. If I find myself needing to try to put a CPU in a computer, then I'll remember this, not be able to find it, hunt for it for days, finally find it, possibly after already buying another CPU, and then check it out, find out, hey, that's exactly what I needed. I'm gonna have to start putting stuff where I can find it, and then promptly not do that. So so that was yard sale find 1. Let's see what we got next. Okay, good, bad, ugly, or otherwise. Here we go. Cooler Master. I did pay $5 for it. It's a V650 semi-modular 3D circuit design for better efficiency, powerful single 12 volt rail modular cable design. Japanese capacitor, maximum reliability. Okay. so let's see. Yeah. And this was definitely installed. Let me get this out. Power cord, and we'll just pull the power cables just because. And another manual. Yes. Yay. I love manuals I'm never going to read. The buildup I see in here, which I mean I could plug it in and short the correct terminals and make sure it powers on, but to be honest with you, I'm not. If there is anything wrong with it, it's likely to be little to non-existent, to, you know, no big deal to fix. It's got a lot of connections, so you got extra power connections for graphic cards. So this is, and look, I'm showing my ignorance. I don't know the terminology, because like I said, I hate computers, so I don't deal with them a lot, and I don't read up on them or nothing. It's got the old Molex connectors, the old floppy drive connectors. A lot of you probably are saying, what's a floppy drive? It's a 10 amp, 6.3 amp. So at 110 volt, 115, you got 10 amps, 6.3 amps at 220, 230 volt, 50 or 60 mega hertz. Sorry, not megahertz. DC, huh? Okay. Here we go. Okay, so DC output 3.3, 5, 12, and 12, negative 5, 12, and 5. So I could make 24 volt. And then output amperage 28, 30, 18 amps on a 12 volt rail. Wow. I think that's pretty doggone something. Product number RP650PCAR. So I guess if it works, this is a pretty cool, sorry for hollering in your ears, guys, pretty cool power supply. And like I said, it always a good thing to make sure it's switched to 115. I would run computers for years without ever turning them off. The only time they ever went off was when they would lose power, and then as soon as power is back on, crank them back up and run. I run a bulletin board system for like 7 years straight. Never turned the computer off for 7 years. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, this is kind of weird, but I'll explain why. All it is just a laptop power supply and a mouse. I don't want the mouse, but it was in the bag. So, okay, I will dispose of your mouse. A huge connector, which I'll chop that off and put a one on there that I can use for what I need. But the purpose behind this, it's a HP, I think it's a, where are we at? 19.5 volt, 3.33 amp, 85 watt power supply. So hugely beneficial to have stuff like this laying around. And I do have a whole bunch of them laying all over the place. But anyway, so my deal was to grab a few of these from yard sales and here, there, and yonder. And I'm going to try them with soldering iron. So that's the intent of this power supply and where it's going to go. Let's see what else we got. Okay, this is just too big to put all in there. So this is a tackle box. It's got $10 on it. I did not pay $10 for it. This is loaded with, I don't know what all. Looks like, I think it's jewelry making stuff. Yeah, just tons of jewelry making stuff. Cord, I guess, for necklaces, beads, all kind of stuff. Well, my wife wants that. This is what she gets. Or as we say here in the South, a boatload. of sewing stuff. These little containers here, my wife is not getting, which I guess you can't see them. Look like film containers. I'm keeping those. I don't think she knows it, but I am. Inside, I mean, you can see it's just, and I pay $5 a piece, so I got a deal. I get my money back regardless, and that's kind of how I look at it on yard sale stuff. If I know I can get my money back on it, I'll spend it on it. So let's see what else we got. Okay, so this was a cool find here. I got a crayon. I got a little guy who's having a bad day. Lego stuff and whatever this is, Nintendo thing that's getting thrown away. Nah, I got more than this. Okay, let's dig into. Okay, so that's just a bunch of empty cases, and I know people buy these things. I mean, let's just say, okay, if I sold the boxes alone, the empty boxes, for $1 a piece, and these games, which I don't know if they're any good, but if I sold these games for $5 a piece, and I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I think there's 11 games, maybe. So you see what there is there, and there's this thing. It's a DS 3D on. I don't know what that is. So there's this thing, which I guess is the game that you use to play those. Red's my favorite color, so of course, I mean, it caught my attention. Actually, it caught my wife's attention, and she told me about it. It's kind of scuffed up a bit, and I don't know if I have a charger to be able to charge it to even see if it's any good or not. It's not entirely, doesn't matter, whole big deal to me. But these, so if I sold, I sold this for say $10, and these for $5 a piece. And then the empty boxes for $1 a piece. And I don't know how many boxes it was. I'm just going to say 10 boxes. So that's $10. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's $60. Then 10 for this. That's $70. So I'm guessing. Let's just say $50. I sell all this for $50. I paid $8 for it. I paid $8 for it. I don't think you can mess these up to where they're not going to work. None of the contacts are corroded. Everything's good. I sold a bunch of tons of games. It was Wii games. It was everything you could imagine. I can't even remember. It was like 100 games of Wii, Xbox 360, just all those games, and other Xbox stuff, and other old Nintendo stuff, and Game Boys, and just a bunch of Game Boy Advances, and original Game Boys, and other things. And I think I kind of just glanced online for a rough price, cut that in half, and I come up with like, throwed it on Facebook for $1,800, and someone was going to give me 15, and eventually it come down to the point that I sold it to somebody for $900. And me and him was talking, and I told him, I got an idea of what this is worth, but because I kind of looked around, and he said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, what I'm looking at is, I should be able to sell all of what he's buying from me for $900, keep what he wants, and make his $900 back on everything else. So, and I appreciated his honesty, and I agreed with him. So just a bunch of junk that I'd collected over years working at cleaning out rental properties, going in repairs and fixing everything up after a tenant would move out, leaving stuff. Sometimes I wonder if they left the kid, because it's like they walked out of the house and left everything in the house. And so I'd go looking for I'd see a stroller, I'd go looking for the baby. Surely they left the baby, they left everything else. So anyway, this is the last item in this installment of Yard Sale Finds. That's all I've got. I would appreciate it if you feel led to like and subscribe. I also appreciate your time. It's as important to me as it is to you, and I appreciate you spending your time here with me, and I hope to see you again. We can spend more time together, maybe learn about some stuff, figure some stuff out. Anyway, thank you. Thanks, and God bless.